Hey guys, it's your buddy, your pal. It is the IT Collector, and today we're doing an unboxing or review, if you will, of the new Micro Galaxy Squadron line of ships and vehicles. Now, if you haven't already, um, check out my other video. I'll put it right here, and it's all about the Action Fleet from about 20 years ago. So this was a Micro Machine Star Wars Action Fleet series made by Galoob, and these are made by Jazzware. So in this video, I'm going to be comparing the size of the two lines to see if which one you rather collect. Of course, these aren't made anymore, so it's all on third-party areas like Amazon or eBay. But it's a very good line. Check out that video. And then today we're gonna open this up and compare the scale between the two. But first things first, right off the bat, this is a TIE Fighter, which we're going to be talking about. So I'm wearing my TIE Fighter shirt because it's TIE Fighter Day. But just a quick note on the line. So this is Series 1, and on the back of each box, it shows other vehicles or ships on Series 1. As you could see over here, I have other vehicles and ships. So the interesting thing they did, which is smart, of course, it's not just the original trilogy, the older vehicles or ships. You see something here already in Series 1 from The Mandalorian. You see Obi-Wan's ship from the prequels, and then a couple of more other vehicles from the original trilogy, and they have other stuff coming out from the other series. I'm pretty sure this line is going to be pretty extensive because 20 years ago you didn't have Obi-Wan, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Andor, all these things coming out, plus the new the recent the recent Star Wars movies, sequels. I was gonna say prequels, but the sequels that came out. So you know they're gonna come out with those ships as well. So yeah. So without further ado, we're gonna open him up and take a look at what accessory it comes with, and again compare the scale between the two. Let's take a closer look. So first things first, once I got it out of the box, I want to talk about the box real quick. The back of the box, you can see this little blueprint, they call it. It's a collective blueprint, so you can cut that out. I don't know if anyone collects that, but also on the top, it just shows a little bit that the cockpit opens and that the wings can be pulled apart, and then you have, you know, just the main part of the ship. As I mentioned, this is Series 1, so you see the other vehicles. They have chase vehicles, so if you don't know what that is, they're just these are the generic, more common ones, and then these are the chase, which means they're different, limited, and I think this TIE Fighter is all in white. So anywho, so here we are. This is the front the box. Once I pulled out the package, it has a little bit of artwork. I hate when I rip it like that. But also at the bottom, I noticed it's supposed to be like this. When you pull this down, it has artwork on the bottom, which I thought was kind of odd. So I don't know if that's for display. Maybe you set it up and you know, have it like that in your little display case or something like that. Really not sure. That's just my own speculation. Then the other thing was the TIE Fighter pilot comes in this little blister pack here. And once you remove him, well, actually there it shows that you can place him in the cockpit. Once you remove him, let's compare compared to the Action Fleet, because that's one of the main things we want to do here. And here we are. So if you look at that, they are almost the same height. The Action Fleet is a little bit bigger. You can tell that the new Micro Galaxy Squadron one is a little bit like thinner and not as thick. And here they have their legs connected, and the new one does not. So interesting size comparison, almost the same but not quite. The pilots, let's talk about the ships themselves. So you can see the noticeable difference. Look at the wings right there. It's a lot bigger. One thing to note, this TIE Fighter is this blue color. You remember that from the 90s type of what is it, ships that they had. And then so this one is the gray color, which I think is a lot better. But yeah, so that's kind of the colors on them. But here's a little bit better comparison of the size. So if you look at it, it is smaller. There's the wings, and then you have the actual cockpit comparison there. So you can see that right there. I actually do like this size. I think it's a better display because it's a little bit bigger, but you know, it's not as good because it's gonna not be to scale. There is a little bit of detail in the TIE Fighter. Let me check here. The TIE Fighter cockpit, and here not much. So it's just plastic, and you drop the pilot in there. This one has a little bit of like gears or buttons, or can't really see because of the color, but a little bit of detail in there. There you go. So they actually put some effort into that. And the other major difference between Action Fleet and the Micro Squadron is this little display stand. So I thought that was kind of cool. That's how I had them displayed myself. But as you can see, this one is a lot bigger. This one's smaller. Let me actually do one last comparison on the ground, if you will. And there you go. There's a perfect comparison of the two. So yeah, there you go. Now you get a good scale or comparison if you want to see Action Fleet, if you want to look into getting those, or if you want to start this new line, which I'm telling you is gonna be it's gonna be a lot of vehicles I feel are coming out. So I might get your wallets ready for that. But either way, I think it's a very cool line. I'm gonna continue collecting them. So I think they're great. So there you go. There's a quick little review on this guy right here. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit more detail on the series, this new line that's coming out. And I hope it was a good comparison between the old ships and vehicles line of Action Fleet compared to this new one. So stay tuned for more videos on each of the ships and vehicles so you can compare the scale and see if this is going to be a line that you want to collect or not. As I mentioned, it's going to be a probably pretty extensive line, but they are pretty awesome. I really do like them. It's a pretty good size. One thing if I didn't mention it already, I actually do like the size. I think they're just a little on the small side. I kind of prefer this size, but if I didn't mention it, it's already the scale. This new line by Jazwares, they have the vehicles to scale. So for example, if you look at one of my other videos, I have the Millennium Falcon that just came out, and it is bigger than this TIE Fighter. It's about 9 inches. In this line, in the Action Fleet line, the Millennium Falcon is pretty much the same as this TIE Fighter. So they didn't do it to scale. So all across the board, everything is one size. For example, there's also a Bantha, and it's you know, it's not to scale. Or the Rancor is basically the size of the TIE Fighter. Which now that I think of it, it's after Boba Fett series, it is kind of big. So anywho, so yeah, so it's just this one isn't in scale, this one is, so that's a plus. But my opinion is they're just a little bit on the small side, but they're great to display. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this review. Make sure you click like and subscribe if you haven't already for more Star Wars content, more on this specific line. But not just that, anything from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, from, for example, Lord of the Rings coming up, Game of Thrones stuff even I have, Marvel, DC, Predator, Terminator, Ninja Turtles. Check out my channel, and I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, stay collecting, my friends.